Hi everyone, in this series of videos, we'll explore how to convey different emotions through illustration. I don't know why, but we're starting with sadness in this one. Let's dive in. To begin, as usual, we'll start by designing our character and crafting a little backstory for them. First, we need to decide what kind of characters work best for us. Should it be a child, an ordinary person, a creature or a monster? It could even be an inanimate object, like a sad key. It all depends on whether our illustration has a fun or serious tone. If we use characters like a key or a monster, we can initially convey sadness, but after a while, the audience might not take the story behind their sadness, which could turn out to be funny. That would mean we failed in our goal. Now, if we use a child as our character, aside from sadness, we'll also evoke sympathy from the audience. This is kind of like manipulating the viewer, similar to how many movies show the main character's wife being pregnant, just to make us feel sorry for him when she dies. We don't want that here. So, to ensure our illustration conveys sadness purely through composition, color and avoiding cliches, without adding a fun twist, let's go with an adult human character. To craft our literal story, we first need to know what kind of stories to avoid. Stories where sadness leads to despair can shift the emotion from sadness to hopelessness or depression. Or stories where the sad character has a glimmer of hope. This turns the illustration into one about hope. Instead, our characters should carry this sadness with them constantly, not knowing when it will end. They might seem happy and cheerful during the day, but when they are alone, the sadness creeps back in. This means we need to capture that moment of solitude. What comes to my mind is a plus-sized woman working as a call center employee. She doesn't have a great job, she's unhappy with her appearance, and she doesn't know when things will get better. Maybe she doesn't even have a family and lives alone. She's also isolated at the work because of her appearance. Perhaps we can illustrate her sitting in the break room, eating her lunch alone. Now, let's talk about composition. Since we're dealing with emotions, we'll use medium shots or closer. Medium shot focuses more on the character, while still showing some of the environment. We won't use close-ups, because, in my opinion, they don't work well in standalone illustrations. Close-ups are better for media like comics, animation, or film, where the audience has a mental background of characters. To convey our character's emotions effectively, we need to include some of the environment. So, we'll go with a medium shot and isolate her from the rest of the scene. While sketching, we'll add some elements to tell a bit more of the story. For example, to show she's struggling financially, we can give her simple wooden bracelets and necklaces, likely bought second-hand. If we want to hint that she thinks her weight is the reason for her loneliness, we can show her eating less. Maybe she's trying to diet, so she's having an apple. She probably couldn't afford a nice lunchbox, so her meal is in a plastic bag. Her co-workers are chatting and laughing in the background, but our character is sitting alone, lost in her thoughts. She doesn't even consider the possibility that her co-workers might approach her. Instead of looking at them, she is staring straight ahead, lost in her own world. To emphasize her sadness, we can add a sign on the wall that says lunchtime 1 to 1:30 and the clock showing 1:30. Even though her lunch break is almost over, she hasn't even noticed. She hasn't eaten. Now, let's move on to coloring. Since we've divided the scene into two parts, We'll do the same with the colors. Cool, somber tones for our characters section, and slightly warmer tones for the coworkers. But since the camera is with our character, we won't make the background too cheerful. We need to remember that workplace is still a sad environment for her. Also, to ensure the sadness doesn't turn into hope, we won't let any warm lights touch her. One important thing to remember in all illustration is practical lighting. If you don't show the light source illuminating the scene, you leave the audience confused. The human mind instinctively looks for the light source, and if it can't find it, the image feels off. The viewer might not know why, but they feel it. So, we clearly define our light sources. A lamp above the coworkers and a vending machine for our character. Since the previous video was quite long, I won't include the full painting process here. I'll upload it separately without explanations. There's another point about post-processing. Our character is lost in her thoughts, disconnected from her surrounding. To reflect this, we'll separate her from the environment by reducing the depth of field. We'll gradually blur the layers to emphasize her emotional state. And the brush I created for the bokeh effect is available for download on my Telegram channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. There are more emotions to explore, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss them. Until next time, don't be sad and goodbye.